All right, just a few seconds. We're live.
Okay. We can actually begin right now.
Okay, you want me to go ahead and get started?
Yes, you can.
Okay, awesome. Let me just share my screen. Just let me know when you can all see my screen, please.
See it. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you for having me on this evening, everyone. My name is Brian Somar. I am an intelligence analyst for New York State's Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services. Specifically, I work within the Cyber Incident Response Team. So today, I just wanted to provide a very brief presentation on some of the practical steps that individuals can do to stay secure online. Before I get into that main content, I do just want to provide a very brief overview of the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, commonly known as DISHES, as well as an overview of the CERT team and some of the reporting statistics regarding the cyber threat landscape. So real quickly, I'm not going to read this mission statement, but in summary, the division is there to improve the readiness and response capabilities of communities throughout the Empire State. So we work closely with all forms and all levels of government to include the private sector and volunteer organizations, focusing on mitigating disasters and other emergencies. We have a placement all throughout New York State, including the city, as you can see here today. I'm sorry, in that visual. And now, who does the CERT team serve? So we serve in total about 17,000 entities. That comprises counties, cities, towns, and villages within all of New York State. The CERT team specifically was established in 2017. This was in response to the increase in cyber attacks in New York State in regards to the governments and critical infrastructure. So we offer an array of services at no cost to non-executive agencies, local governments, and public authorities. You might be wondering if New York City agencies would fall under this. I will say for the most part, they do not. There are some entities within New York City that do fall, but for the most part, New York City actually has a dedicated cyber command that is responsible for protecting New York City agencies from cyber threats. However, there's a lot of collaboration that occurs between the city and the state. One example would be the New York Security Operations Center, which focuses a lot on information sharing on a technical level. So now let's go into some of the statistics. So this is internal to the Cyber Incident Response Team. So we've been established since 2017, started collecting some data at 2018 until present day. So you can see the significant increase in 2025. That's largely in part due to Governor Hochul signing into law the cybersecurity incident reporting requirements for municipal corporations and public authorities. So she mandated that certain entities had to report cyber incidents. So that's likely the reason for the substantial jump in cyber incidents. As you can see in 2026, we already surpassed 2025 in the number of incidents that are getting reported to us in New York State. This will likely continue to increase. Another quick data set that I wanted to share is the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, commonly known as the IC3. So for 2025, according to their report, New York State is fourth nationally for reported complaints from individuals and businesses at about 45,000. That chart below is there to illustrate the top 10 states by number of complaints. So you can see California is number one. New York State is also fourth for reported losses, so valued at 1.2 billion in losses by cyber-enabled crime. And I should say that the IC3 is essentially the central hub where individuals and businesses can report cyber-enabled crime. New York State is fifth for number of complaints filed by individuals 60 and over, about 8,000 complaints, and fourth for reported losses by individuals 60 and over, about 480 million thousand. And the reason why I highlight those 60 and over is unfortunately that age group is number one when it comes to the number of complaints and the number of reported losses at a national scale. So that graph below illustrating the number at the national level for those 60 and over. It's about over 200,000 complaints and 7.7 billion in losses. At a national scale, in total for the year 2025, the IC3 received over 1 million complaints and 20 billion in total losses. And that's a 26% increase in total losses from 2024. So two quick data sets, but things don't look pretty good if you take that in consideration, right? But I do believe that this really isn't time to panic, but rather time to focus on the fundamentals. And I really appreciated this quote from a recent report, Verizon's data breach investigation report, stating the fundamental principles must be addressed for an organization to be able to weather cyber incidents and breaches. This is focusing on organizations, but the same can be said for individuals. So what are some basic things that any individual can do to stay better secure? Well, the first thing, using strong and unique passwords. What makes up a strong password? Unique in the sense we're not reusing passwords. So that password that you're using to log into your online banking service should not be the same password that you use to access your work email account. You want to think password phrases. So by password phrases, it's longer by nature and easier to remember. But you want to stay away from the common phrases and implement some complexity and some randomness to it. So something that may be a phrase that you're familiar with and it's not common knowledge of that sort. The best combination would be to use something called a password manager and having a strong password phrase to log into that password manager. So for those who are not familiar with a password manager, it's a way to securely store all your passwords, and it can also generate a password for you. You might be familiar with this through your Apple iPhone or any other device. Sometimes they'll ask you, do you want to save this password? So storing that password for you. Usually those same password managers can also generate a strong password for you. The best part about a password manager and why I love it is because you only need to remember one password, and that would be called your master password. So as long as you have a strong password phrase to access your password manager, you should be in good standing. So this visual on the right is there to illustrate a weak password and what would constitute a strong password. So that strong password that you see there, no one's ever going to remember that. That would be a randomly generated password that something like a password manager would generate for you. So you wouldn't have to memorize it. Something else I always like to mention is changing your default password. So if you have a home router, a Wi-Fi extender, or a camera, make sure you don't still have that default password that the company has set up. Usually, well, they've gotten a lot better over the years, but out of an abundance of caution, I would recommend still changing those passwords. Next step is setting up multi-factor authentication. So multi-factor authentication is essentially an extra layer of defense, usually combines two or more of the following that you see in the slide. So either something you know, something you have, or something you are. So the graphic depicts it pretty simply. You sign in, username and password, and then the multi-factor comes in where it wants to verify that it's you. So usually it's a push notification on your device, either yes or no, approve or deny, or it's a one-time code that you may get on your device. After you approve that or enter the code, then you're able to log in and access whatever resources you were looking to access. One actionable step that you can take here is checking if all your accounts offer MFA and if you are using it. So most online banking services, for example, they are probably forcing you to use multi-factor authentication, or what's also called two-step authentication. If you have other types of accounts, I would recommend checking those as well. The last three bullets is just to show the email accounts and some simple steps that you can take to verify if you have that two-step verification on. Next, thinking before you click. So phishing and scams. Phishing, many organizations have different definitions. It's essentially when a cyber threat actor manipulates you to get you to perform a desired action. And usually that action is to click a link and type in your email and password so they can grab your password. Some key elements with phishing is impersonation, a convincing story, and an urgency to act. Some quick ways that you can stay protected is to slow it down, Do not react right away. Don't interact with the email or phone call or text message. You want to take your time, inspect the message, take a look when it comes to emails and text messages, who's sending the message. Is this a saved number? Is this a common email address that you have previously communicated with? And even so, take that extra step to verify that information through other trusted channels. And the last bullet, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. If you get an email saying you want a $100 gift card and you never signed up for any type of sweepstakes or whatnot, most likely you're being scammed. Want to highlight two current events illustrating some scams that have been occurring frequently. The first one's a travel scam. So this was published in April of this year. So an individual received an email from his airline about a change in his flight schedule. He attempted to use the link provided in the email, but it didn't work for some reason. So what he does next is he Googles a number for the airline customer support. And what he ended up calling was a scammer, and he lost $12,000 because of it. So what happens is scammers create these fake websites that resemble legitimate companies, and then they advertise it on search engines such as Google to try to get it to appear high on the search results. A huge red flag for this case was the request for $12,000, of course, to change that flight. And that was 5 times more than the original amount. So some things that the scammer really took advantage of for this individual was the urgency to act. He was worried about his flight. He wanted a quick change. He wanted to reschedule it, ended up calling a wrong number. And before he could really think about it, he lost out on $12,000. With summer traveling occurring and the rise in flight cancellations and delays, this creates a lot of opportunity for these cyber threat actors. So I do want to urge a lot of caution when it comes to travel scams. The next one I wanted to highlight was it's often called a pig butcher scam. You can also call it like an investment type of scheme. Also, there's some romantic elements to it most of the time. This one did have a romantic element to it too. So a recent retiree in San Francisco, he started a relationship with someone named Anissa on WhatsApp. It started turning into a romantic relationship. It should be noted that he was feeling lonely too. His wife was actually in a nursing home. He felt kind of lonely. This individual on WhatsApp was starting to build a relationship with him. Once that rapport was established, Anissa mentioned she invests in crypto and she made millions and that he can too, and that they can start a new life together if he invests too. So he goes and starts investing. And it's very sophisticated, this type of scam, because Anissa is showing the individual a website that shows his growth and money, but this is a fake website. His son actually gets a hold of this, tries to warn him. He doesn't listen. He's essentially in too deep. What ended up happening was he attempted to take out his money. Anissa, quote unquote, requested $25,000 to take it out. And at that time, he had absolutely no money left. So he had to face the facts at that point. The last two recommendations is updating your devices and backing up your data. So weaknesses often get disclosed and companies will fix that. And in order to get that fix, you have to update your devices. An easy step would be to turn on automatic updates for all your devices, so you don't really have to think about it. When it comes to backing up your data, you want to back it up at an offsite location. So this could be either through an external hard drive or a cloud backup. When it comes to external hard drives or like a USB, usually it's going to be more cost effective, but it does require a little bit more effort, more hands-on. Cloud backups are very easy. You just enable cloud backups. It's subscription fee based, and there's less effort overall. And that graphic is just used to illustrate the benefits of keeping your device updated and backing up your data. And that's it. Any questions? Good, stop sharing.
So when you say backing up your data, I tend to put most of my stuff in Dropbox, and yes, I pay them for that. Does that count?
Yes, that counts. That's a great example, Dropbox.
Yeah, and also a lot of times I don't fully understand what having a pass, not a passcode, there's something else that they want you to have. Could you explain what that is and why is that helpful?
Do you mean a pass key?
Yes.
Okay. So a
Thank you.
pass key is one of the more emerging things. It is a good recommendation. A bit more, I guess, difficult to set up at times. I always think about like setting up for my mom or my dad, and it might be a bit more difficult for them to set up a pass key. But one example would be using your device. So it's usually something you have, makes it much harder for threat actors to kind of replicate, where you get a prompt on your device to sign in. That's what I've usually seen in example. That's the usual example I've seen. So it's usually like your device that's approving or denying a login rather than having to input your password.
Thank you. And how can we, I mean, it seems like a lot of this information is very useful, not just to the members of this committee, but to people in our community, and more broadly. So what could we do that would, is there a link to this presentation perhaps that we could use to maybe put it in the newsletter or something of that sort to um, amplify
Yeah,
your information?
yeah, certainly. I'll verify if I can share the PowerPoint. I would love to do so. And if for some reason I can, I will definitely find some resources for you and the team to share with the community members. I think it really is all about outreach and awareness and just continuing to spread that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I
Any?
just mentioned something really quickly. So one of my coworker was telling me how recently I don't know if it was his grandfather or grandmother, but one of his grandparents, recently reached out and was telling him that he needed help getting a gift card. So that he started asking, why do you need to get a gift card? And then it turned out that, it's something similar where someone was reaching out to him and needed a gift card. And so he told him it was a scam, not to do it. And his reply was, no, it's a good person. I don't think this person was scamming, you know? And and it's something that's so frequent, it happens so often. And I remember this happened to one of my friends from when I was in high school as well, where he received a mail from Aflac. And that mail from Aflac was saying that he received $1,500, but the only thing was that he needed to cash the check and send back $500 because it was a mistake. And he did it. And then a week later, the bank came back and he owed that money because the check was fraudulent.
Wow.
These kind of things happen all the time. And I think it's something that, it's something that you mentioned that if it's too good to be true, it most likely is not true.
Yeah, the gift cards is a huge red flag too. And something that's really concerning now is the deep fakes. I didn't want to talk too much. There's so much we can talk about when it comes to how people scam others, especially in the online space. But something heartbreaking I think about is this deep fake. So replicating someone's voice. Like imagine my mom getting a phone call from somebody that sounds exactly like me and asking for help, like, crying or whatnot. My mom would have a heart attack and my mom would do whatever it takes to fix whatever problem I'm presenting her, right? Send whatever money necessary. And that's what people are doing. They're taking advantage. So it's very unfortunate. And that's why, spreading that awareness is a huge key. So something to keep in mind of.
How does a deep fake actually happen? I mean, how do they get
So unfortunately, like, public access. So like, like YouTube, right? Like some things are recorded for the public and they can capture your voice through that, through different programs. And they're able to replicate it and they can kind of get you to say whatever they want you to say once they have that voice of yours. It's gotten much more sophisticated too. And it's only going to get better, unfortunately.
You're making me worried about this meeting.
Well, but that's what spreading awareness is all about.
I
But no need
experienced
to
the
panic.
deepfake.
You did?
Yes, well, my boyfriend's family lives in South Carolina. We live in New York City, and all of a sudden his sister's calling me and asking me how's Christian doing. And I was like, well, he's great. I saw him this morning before I left to work. And they're like, no, he's in jail. And I'm like, what are you speaking about? And they're like, well, he just called us from the hospital. He's in jail and they have him like in a hospital bed, chained to the bed, because he was also in the car accident. And he's caused someone else some major injury, and the lawyer is with him, and the lawyer needs $3,000 right now so he can represent him. And I'm telling his mother, well, where are you? And she goes, well, we're on our way to the bank. And I was like, well, stop, because he's not in the hospital. He's with me. And they're like, well, they said that he was drinking. I'm like, Christian doesn't drink. And they were like, are you sure? I'm like, I'm positive. And then that's when everyone realized, oh, wow, someone had his voice and was trying to scam them, because they were like, get cash. Don't get a check. We need the cash, and you could just meet us in this parking lot and we'll get it to the person that we're supposed to get it to.
Wow.
And
Wow,
simply, that was Christian at one point. Someone calls you and they ask you some questions and you're speaking to them on the phone, and they just actually getting your voice, you know?
Yeah,
And that's what happened there. But they caught it in time.
that's great. I mean, you were a big help.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I worked with I went to school for cybersecurity, and I work with computer people, and because I work in finance, we're always doing this training.
Yeah, awesome.
Mm.
Yeah, that's scary.
Oh, but what I did make them do is create a family password. So in the future now, whenever someone says, oh, there's an emergency and we need X, Y, and Z, and they're like, okay, great. What's the password?
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
Password. That's I got a little bit.
yes, so there's a family password. Like anytime someone wants to like speak on behalf or say something, it's like, all right, well, what's the password? And if they don't know it, that means no, that person did not speak to you about anything financial or anything. So that's that.
Right, can I ask you a question? So in the last slide, you mentioned to keep the devices updated. Can you tell us why that's important?
So I'll be honest. So for individuals, I do recommend the automatic updates for devices, right? And this is because, a lot of times when vendors or companies fix when they have an update, it's because they notice like a security flaw in their software or device. So you want to have that device updated to keep it updated and protected from any type of potential threat that somebody may take advantage of. However, if you want to kind of dive really deep into it a little bit, I wouldn't recommend automatic updates for organizations. For organizations, I would recommend them doing some testing first, waiting a week, having like a certain rollout period essentially before pushing out updates to every device. But for individuals, I will say that's still safer to have those automatic updates. If you're staying up to date on cybersecurity news, then you probably know a lot of threat actors are taking advantage of libraries or little pieces of software. And when a company implements an update, they actually push out a malicious piece of software due to threat actors taking advantage of that. So yeah, it can get real complicated, but all in all, I will stand, unless someone has an argument that by automatic updates for individuals, I think it's still best. But organizations don't do that.
And I bring that up too because I know some of my students when they're freshmen, I ask them all the time, like when you see the pop up to update your device, what do you do? And a lot of them tell me that they just skip it, right? Or they delay it. And they don't understand why they shouldn't do that, and they should install it as soon as possible, right? And I think that's something that a lot of people would do because they find it annoying. It's like, all right, so I'm trying to use my device, but then this pop-up comes up that I need to restart my phone, but I'm trying to use it for something. That's the reason why I picked it up in the first place, right? And it becomes like an annoying behavior, right? But yeah, so that's the reason why I brought it up.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is annoying sometimes. You could always set it to overnight though. That's helpful. But thanks for bringing that up. Any other questions? All right, I guess I will say farewell here. Mr. Valdez, I appreciate the invitation. I'm going to get back to you to see if I can share this presentation. If not, I'm definitely going to send some resources for you all. Thank you again all for having me. It was a pleasure. I was born and raised in Queens, Woodhaven though, but still close.
Yeah.
So it's great to be here. Take care, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Um,
All right, that was scary.
some pineapple.
You're muted, Ross.
I was asking my son to get me something.
Oh, sorry. All right, so I mean, I guess that's so in terms of like the tech committee side of it, that's the only thing that we have to present for today, from our side. Unless anybody has any updates. If not, Lisa, take it over.
Right. Well, today is going to be a very short, because basically what I have to present is updates on the newsletter and updates on passwords. Originally, when I was coming to this, I was coming to tell you that I have not gotten any success on getting any passwords. But I just saw an email from Anatol, and oh yes, we can do an intro for the new member. I just spoke to Anatol, and Anatol, I didn't speak to him. I sent him an email saying that, Anatol, I really need these passwords because we're falling behind. We haven't done newsletters, and we haven't been able to get on Instagram. And then today I saw that he reached out to Tana, and she said that here is the password for the Instagram. Still need a password and everything for the newsletter, but at least now we have Instagram, which is great because we could put everything on Instagram, and which a lot of more people are up to date with the Instagram anyway.
We married to the newsletter account. Maybe we just start over.
I just wanted, if we have to start over, yes. But at first, I just wanted Anatol to be like, here is the information. When I emailed him the first time, it was a while before he got back to me. Then I emailed him a second time, and last week he got back and said, number one, I emailed him about the table. Like, are we going to be involved? Is our department going to be the ones that are going to be sitting there with the table, signing people up? And he said that he's going to be getting back to me on all of that. So I haven't heard from him yet. So I'm going to reach out to him tomorrow because we need to know this before Saturday. Because we need to know what we need to bring, what kind of table do we have access to.
I think we shouldn't wait upon Anatol. I mean, I think we do have a lot of swag in the office. I'd be glad to meet. I'll probably be meeting with Raphael anyway in the office later
Okay.
in the week. And if we could get someone who wants to be in charge of the table, and they can even wear the new vest. And
Right.
let's pack up the materials that we're going to take for this event.
Well, the only reason why I asked, 1 second. Excuse me, I'm on a meeting. Thank you. The only reason why I am asked, because I don't want to step on Anatol's toes, because I think that he was maybe planning on doing the table himself. Not sure, because I reached out to him and he was like, oh, I've been so busy with stuff that's going on, which I could understand, and I'll get back to you. And I haven't heard from him yet.
Lisa, I think that if he's been so busy, let's take the burden off his shoulders. We can
Exactly.
get there with the table, the equipment, it's the swag,
Right.
etc. And if he wants to come and be there, that's marvelous. It's
Right.
great.
And the
But
thing is,
we
LIC
shouldn't
Springs
be
is
so
in my
respectful.
neighborhood. it's right by me, so it's not a big deal for me to go sit there and help out and maybe do shifts with it, or, and get people I know who's not familiar with this signed up. So
So
that's one
this is
thing.
the
The other
Long Island
thing,
City Springs event, and it's on Saturday, right? And I think
right, the
my
30th.
all of my talking, I believe I have to be out east and be a grandma on the 30th, so I can't uh do anything, but I certainly be glad to, if somebody comes by when I'm over in the office and
Right.
Raphael figure
I
out
can
when that
definitely
is.
come, because I'm home these days. I
Yeah.
can come by and grab some swag too.
Yeah. All right. So maybe on let's amongst us we'll figure out the time when I'll look at my calendar and see.
Right, because I definitely feel
And
like
it'd
that's
be
important.
Thursday or Friday, I think.
Right. And so it was the LIC swag that was going to speak to about. I was going to, and you've already showed us the shirts that you are thinking are a good look, which I agree. Um,
You said the shirts or
well,
the vest?
the
The vest.
the
Yeah.
vests, which
Well, that's
I
just that required, I mean, I went online. It took about a month for the thing to come in. It apparently was made in China. And I had thrown, things like the New York City insignia on the back, but I'm no designer at all. And
right.
we need, if we're really gonna do this, it won't happen before Long Island City Springs.
No,
But we ought to involve possibly arts and culture, or if there's people who are more artistically oriented than I, because
right.
we could use help in that.
So,
Actually, I'm sorry, but hi, I'm new. But I am a former designer and I used to work at a print shop, and that's definitely something that I could help with.
oh, it's great. So Cheryl, you are the new member of our team.
Yes, I am, and I'm so sorry I came late. I'm a little under the weather. I think me and my children have food poisoning,
Oh no.
which is why my camera's off. But I was really excited about joining this. Hello, everyone. I'm Cheryl from Woodside.
Hi.
I was a former designer. I completely switched careers and I'm more interested in civic engagement and government. I used to work for a short time at PS229 as a school aide. And now I am hoping to go into policy research and analysis.
Oh, nice. Well,
Oh,
that's
all
a,
right, let's be very specific. Cheryl, are you available on Friday morning? Raphael, would Friday morning work for you?
Unfortunately, I am
Thursday
not.
morning. How about Thursday?
This week is pretty much booked up for me. And also, I'm not even sure I can go to those engagements depending on how my stomach is doing.
right.
Yeah, no, I understand, but we need, yeah. All right, more importantly, let's figure out in terms of preparing for Long Island City Springs, we Thursday or Friday morning I can do.
Well,
Both work with me.
Rob, I can definitely do Thursday or Friday morning also. So just, whichever ones you guys decide, just shoot me an email prior and then I can come meet you and grab some of the stuff that we're going to be needing. Or, and also, you know what? Before we even do that, let's reach out to Anatol so we can see what he was planning.
Well, we'll do that, but I seriously think that the main thing is, encourage him to be there, but let us do the
The
spade,
work, right.
get it done. Come with a shopping cart and load you up.
Okay, I can do that.
Good.
Um, well, the other thing I wanted to talk about was, I know there's usually an end of the year celebration. And I suspect we're the ones that put that together.
We are or have been, and by the way, I have more news in that regard. I
Good.
think, or an opportunity. I did mention to Anatole, but apparently Laura Shepherd is a former member of this committee, and she is now the borough president's liaison for transportation and parks. And she's also a very good friend. And so she came back from a meeting. She was sent on behalf of the borough president to East End Studios, which is that huge new building on 48th Street. And she said they've got a ton of space and they would love to have us, including, I think there's a rooftop or something with a
Oh,
great
brilliant.
views of Manhattan. And I think we should jump on that.
I absolutely agree. Now, because I have never done this before and no one's given me any information when I took this project on, do we have a budget?
No, not much, but we'll find resources, and it might be at East End Studios that they would uh they may offer stuff. I mean, they really sounded like they were bending over backwards and they'd like to build a relationship with us.
Okay, that would be brilliant. So, if you can you send me her information?
Laura's, yes, I could do that.
Right, because we get on the ball with that, and then
Mhm.
maybe that you and I can have a meeting with her.
Yeah. And come on over. She's
Yes, because
often here.
I was actually worried about the end of a year because I'm like, what are we supposed to do? Where do we get the information from?
When exactly at the end of the year does it happen? Is it like end of like yeah, I was just wondering.
I guess it could happen mid-June too.
It has happened in June or even I think in July or the beginning. We can't do the Independence Day weekend, but just find a date that works for the people who want
Right.
to actually make it happen. And
Right.
I know a few years back, Nick Berkowitz and I, we ended up going, he had his dad's car or something. We went over to BJ's and just bought a lot of stuff and, didn't charge. I mean, I just gave them my plastic because it wasn't a whole lot of money and we made it happen.
Right.
We don't have much budget, but we don't really have great needs. In the past, though, the one we have had it at places like I guess Otto Manelli's on the
Right.
waterfront, and either so people had to buy their drinks or something, and Otto Manelli's put out some kind of fairly minimal food, right? If I recall correctly.
Right.
And then we had last year, we had it at, what was it? The place on 49th Street. It's a bar basically, and the same kind of deal. So I think people, if you let them know, you're going to have to patronize the establishment. So I don't know in the case of East End Studios what if they have something themselves or how
Right.
that would work.
Well, we will soon find out. It sounds like a pretty good idea. If they're asking for us, let's see if we can do that and start that relationship.
Yeah, I think step one is just going, meeting up with Laura and get the contact and going over there and see what's what.
Right. Well, that's all I have basically was LIC Springs and the fact that I've gotten passwords to Instagram. So with
Also really
that,
quickly, oh sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I was like I'm also new. I'm Zakira. I was at the
Oh, hi,
last board meeting,
Zakira.
but I haven't been able to join a committee meeting yet. So thank you for having me, guys. I'm from Sunnyside. If you couldn't tell by me suggesting Brookside Market, but yeah, I'm excited to be here too.
Okay. Nice to meet you and thank you for joining us. I'm actually new to the team myself, and so we've been trying to get little pieces put together to make us a whole again. So right now we are excited for having the password to our Instagram, so that we can start putting things up and letting people know that we are here. Oh, one more thing is, I've been getting emails for people who are asking for us to post their events. How do we feel about posting events that are outside of our events? Are we okay with it? Do we go ahead and put these things like up on Instagram saying that this person, this group is having a get together? Or
Is there a larger like Instagram, like a broader Instagram for just CB2 in general?
there is, but that's what I'm asking, if
Yeah.
we are okay with putting it on Instagram.
I'm a bit of a no on that. Not that I'm opposed to it, but we have to be careful and have a policy. So
Right.
number one, we obviously wouldn't be putting up stuff for, political candidates. We
No.
don't want commercial. We're not an advertising outlet. And there may
Right.
be other sorts of things,
Right.
things that come to us, like, I think we should try to always direct traffic towards, things that have come to us in our committee, like that presentation that the gentleman just gave. I mean, that would be certainly something we could possibly create some little,
Right.
um, summary that would go on Instagram and get people lots of QR codes or something.
Right.
Yeah, and I think if it benefits the community at large, then,
Right.
but if it doesn't benefit, then like why are we
Right. Of course, I wouldn't put anything that's personal. It's all, and anything that they're saying is for the committee.
Yeah.
But of course, I didn't want to say no because I don't have the right to just say no. I just wanted everyone to know that there has been a couple of people requesting us post things that for their groups.
One thing you could do, Lisa, is either designate or assume certain responsibilities, like whoever is responsible for things that's kind of the gatekeeper for Instagram. But one thing that might be helpful is whoever does that, to have some examples of these requests
Right.
and bring it to this committee. That's exactly what this committee should be doing.
Absolutely. Before I was checking out the Instagram and I realized there hasn't been any posts in a long time. So that was one of my things, was like, okay, so who's updating? Like, who was updating that decided that they just aren't doing it anymore? Um, and that's one of the things that I would like to do in the future, is to have the Instagram page live so people know, okay, I want to know if they're going to have a meeting on such and such day. And then this way there is a meeting schedule that's on Instagram. So people know, yeah, there's a meeting on this date. It just needs to be utilized.
Yeah, I think you can also have some kind of a contact of, for more information, contact
Right.
and the office, of course, is the best conduit of all to
Right.
get people to check there,
Right.
and so on.
Exactly. But that's all. I just wanted to make sure that, we know that there's groups that are reaching out for us to post things for them. And I don't agree to be posting everyone's stuff. That's not who we are.
And also, so I know Cheryl, you introduced yourself, but there are new members here as well, right? Because I do see three people. Zakira, sorry if I mispronounced your name. You said you're new as well. But I also see Vishnu and Crystal. Are you guys new members, or like are you a public member?
So yeah, let me introduce myself. I'm Vishnu. I live in Sunnyside. I'm a new public member of the budget committee, actually. And I don't want to like sort of intrude on your agenda, but I'm kind of here because I wanted to kind of make an ask to you guys related to the survey of district needs. we need help. Michael and I have been working on getting the surveys ready, and we could use some help making the community aware of the opportunity to make their voice heard. Because this is like one of the most important things this board does in terms of being able to influence what city government does for our communities. And it'd be great to have more voices in our community represented in that.
That's wonderful. I know also Raphael figured out a way to get the link to the survey put on Linksys, so that might get us a whole lot more attention than we realized.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we have a running campaign now. So for Link NYC, they'll be displaying the annual district needs survey with the QR code on Link NYC kiosks throughout the district. And the campaign started on Friday, and it's going to run to June 30th.
Cool. And just for some more context, we have the survey. It's open and ready. Like we haven't like really posted it far and wide, but for all intents and purposes, it's ready to go if someone gets the link to it. And we also have flyers that are designed and we could print. And so basically, like we were hoping that this could be a project that this committee and the budget committee sort of partner on, just to sort of spread this, like maybe figure out a way to get some flyers in businesses' windows, or like put the links in our social media and stuff like that. So,
Vishnu, I need clarification. You said the budget committee?
right.
I didn't realize the budget committee had public members, but maybe this is a new thing. It usually it consists of people who are the chairs and vice chairs of the committees and people on the executive committee.
No, I think it is a budget committee, yeah. Your website also has, I think, a bunch of people on there who may not be chairs of any other committees, or like on the executive committee.
Are you looking at the website?
Yes.
It might be out of date. Let's just
Yeah,
assume
it is.
out.
It's definitely out of date.
Yeah,
But,
it's out of date.
Okay, so don't assume that. I think what I'm saying
yeah.
is, and the budget committee typically meets over the summer, actually, and Michael has gotten it more organized.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, and I have word from Anatole that I'm a public member, so I believe I went through the correct procedures and I am one. And I've been helping out with the work of the budget committee. So, but yeah,
I think you even helped with the survey, right? Creating it.
right.
Yeah. Mhm, you're good.
Cool. Can you send an email to Raphael? Include everything that you want us to do. You said that you have a flyer, you have information, you have the QR code. Can you include all that information?
Yeah, and then should I
we'll be able to share it out?
Yeah, sure.
On the, retrieving all the passwords and things like that.
Yep. We'll do.
And Crystal, are you a new member as well?
I mean, I kind of just stumbled into this just looking at the CB2 website. I didn't actually know what this meeting was about.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy you're enjoying the conversation.
Hey, it was good advice on internet security.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I think those are wonderful advice as well, and practical tips. Is there anything that you would like to help us with? Let me just ask that. Maybe just listening and just.
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I might show up again if I actually don't know how membership works.
Okay. Cool.
So
then, Zakira, because we don't have too much time, I just want to make sure So again, Cheryl and Sakira, if you could just introduce yourself again and tell us, what's your interest, what's your motivation, and what you hope to get out of this.
Yeah. Again, I know like CB2 is one of the only community boards that has this committee, which I think is really amazing. Says a lot about the board and the community itself. I'm definitely interested in learning how we can make, it more accessible. Like a lot of like I tried to explain to my mom what a community board was, and she did not understand. And so I think like that's and that's the case for a lot of people who are in our district. So yeah, whatever I can, again, whether it's like through amplifying things on social media or just different initiatives, like I'm happy to take part and participate in whatever I can. And I know you guys have already done a lot of fantastic work, so I'm just happy to kind of keep building on that too. And yeah, I'm from Sunnyside. Yeah.
And Cheryl, I know you mentioned that you're a former graphic designer working at a print shop, but you're also in policy, right? Did I get that correctly?
Almost. I've had a very chaotic trajectory in my career path, but I was actually a former fashion bridal designer. And then for a time, I worked as the manager and CFO of a small print shop in Astoria, where I was also the designer. And then pretty much during the pandemic is when I was like, you know what? I feel compelled to do a little bit more than just making pretty clothes and kind of switched everything around. So I have a very strange, like, and unique set of skills, and that's one of the things I definitely want to bring to this. I was very active as a parent leader in my children's school. And one of the things that I really focused on was updating our like communication with the parent and student body and like the greater community of like our school, the school that I eventually went to work for, PS229. So things like updating the Instagram, I totally get that because we didn't even have an Instagram until I started one, things like that. And especially during the pandemic, it was a big deal to keep everybody involved and a part of the larger community. And sometimes, a lot of times, I know that when you're in committees like this, you kind of forget that like you are in a bubble and not everybody's going to know what's going on unless you actually like shout it from the rooftops. And so I'm always interested in that type of communication and engaging with people, whether it's through technology or old-fashioned technology, like just standing on a corner with a table and flyers and just talking to people.
I mean, so all of this was helpful to me in the sense that, so I'll let you know. So I've been thinking about like if you look at the Instagram account, I know it hasn't been getting any kind of activity lately, but if you look at the Instagram account of many CBs, they are all sporadic in terms of like the posts that they submit. There's no cohesion, and something that I will like to work on, if that's something that you're up to the task, and if anybody else can help as well, is having some kind of cohesion in terms of like the color, the theme, in terms of the posts that we submit. So let's say, for example, if it's a post that's from a nonprofit organization that we feel we want to, display to everybody else, maybe, it will have certain color or, have a certain style to it. And then that way it's always consistent. So like a look and feel guide, where we can all leverage and use together whenever we're posting. Is that something that you can help us do?
I think
Yeah.
we should speak more about it before you say this is what we need to do.
No,
It's like,
asking if that's something we can do.
right,
We still need to plan it out.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Like that is something that is in my wheelhouse. One of my pride, like my proudest moments was actually consolidating the branding for PS229. I create like if you've ever been around there, it's in like it's on the border of Woodside and Maspeth. I designed their new mascot. I designed like a new color scheme, and that's what they use on everything, all their social media, all of their official like I created templates for like their paperwork and things like that. So yeah, brand cohesion and color story cohesion is something that is I can definitely help out with once the committee decides if that's something that's going to be done and what direction it wants to be
Right,
going in.
right. Okay. Oh, and one other thing is our photo contest. Where is that now? What are we going to be doing with the photo contest?
So, Leo, I don't know if you have any updates on that, but let me just jump in real quickly. So last time I told Leo I was going to give him some documents. I haven't done that yet. I was waiting on the flyer. So I didn't get it yet. So Leo, I don't know if you worked on it, but just wanted to make sure that's clear.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I remembered that you were going to pass along something and then was
Yeah.
waiting on that to continue. But the one thought I had on that otherwise is like if we're doing outreach for this and we're gonna be doing outreach for the district needs survey, I feel like there's some room to potentially do both of those at the same time. I don't know if this like probably not the link NYC links, but any other outreach we do, I feel like could potentially be paired. But that's the only other thought I had on that.
Raphael, can I ask you a quick question? Since you mentioned, you reminded me, the link NYC, is that something that we can use in terms of like advertising like events that we do? Or is that like a one-time thing exception?
No, we can definitely use it to advertise events that we have.
Okay. All right, so then Leo, once I do finally get the flyer, I'll send it to you, and then maybe we can send it out to Raphael so he can post it on the link.
Sounds good. Let's try to make it happen.
Yeah,
All right.
sounds good to me.
Okay. Well, I don't have anything else for you guys. Amaris, do you have anything else? Or are you good?
Yeah, no, I don't have anything else on my end.
All right.
Can I just ask really quickly, like I know again, like as a new member still catching up and everything, is there like a running, I know we have like our meeting minutes from every meeting, but is there anything like to kind of refer back to or like catch up on? For example, like I know you mentioned like the photo contest, like at LIC Springs, like is there like a list of like engagements that we typically participate in to kind of get a feel of like what's ahead or like what we could be doing, or like if you could give suggestions for I guess like engagements, things like that. I don't know.
You know, you are spot on, Sakura, but we discussed that maybe 2 meetings ago, and I had started it actually I kind of Raphael and I worked on the getting the minutes of the current meetings, you know, a 50-word summary of each meeting and having that ready to go in as content to a newsletter. But the other thing was, and I think Randy was suggested, you know, there are certain things that occur every year. Some things come to us sort of at the last minute, but we ought to have a master list. And I haven't gotten, I kind of that sort of fell by the wayside, and I don't know if let me see what I can do to get that ball rolling again, because I think we really do need that.
Yeah, I definitely second. Oh, thank you. And also I definitely second Cheryl's idea. And like I'm happy to share my email in the chat too if there's like anything you want to share that you've like already started or anything.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. Cheryl, can you also send us your email? You can do it privately if you want as well.
Okay. So I think our meeting is complete. Does anyone want to second that?
Second.
All right. Roz, I'm going to reach out to you so we can, or you can reach out to me to tell me which day you want to come into the office and sort out things for LIC Springs.
Raphael, could we do Thursday at 10 o'clock?
Yeah, let's do that.
Good. There you go.
Good.
Got it. Done.
And then also
Anyone else who wants to come, please come.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also still going to reach out to Anatole, just so I can say officially, Anatole, please give me the information that was given to you by Tana. Whatever, Tanya. I think her name is Tanya.
Tanya.
Yeah.
Right. And that's it. And then for there, I mean, I think he has only received the Instagram. We have to probably start over with our newsletter if he doesn't have that.
A question on that is that not tied to, that's just like for creating the newsletter, or is that also tied to like the list we've built up of like who's subscribed?
Ah, you're right about that. Yeah, so we're gonna have to get the password. That's final. Like, I don't understand why there's been a holdback on giving me that password, but
I don't know how much we developed and how many people there were people subscribed, but even if we start the newsletter anew, we could then import the subscribers if we need to. I mean, we shouldn't let that hold the newsletter up.
Yeah, I can reach out to Tanya if necessary. I can do that tonight. Get the ball
but don't
rolling.
do it tonight because Anatole sent her a message. So I want to reach out to Anatole to be like, Anatole, I saw that you sent her a message. Can you please give me everything that she's given to you? You know? It's just I don't want it to be too many people bugging him for the same thing.
Cool. That's cool. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like I'm
Yeah, yeah.
asking, then you're gonna ask, and then who knows who asked him before that. Unless I'm being too cautious. You can let me know if I'm being too cautious, but I
think you're being much too cautious. I think I'm shocked if Tanya didn't give you already everything that she has.
no, she didn't.
Well,
That's-
then she may not have much more.
I think that's what it is. I think that she was pretty much saying that, you know, she doesn't feel secure to give it to me because it's passwords and she doesn't want to give me the passwords and next, you know, I do something wrong with it. She feels that it should be someone superior to her to give me the passwords. And I understand that.
I feel like former chair to current chair of this committee is like a perfectly reasonable handoff to be doing, but
I mean, I work in with all these institutions and the handoff is easy. If I take over someone else's position, there's an email, Lisa Charles will be taking over such and such, and there would be passwords given to me. So this way I know how to get into places. And unfortunately, that's not what has happened.
Okay, well, let's go. Let's start anew.
Yeah, and that's it. That's basically what the answer is. To start everything anew, start with a different mindset. The Instagram is going to be something that is going to be updated at least once a week going forward, whether it's just throwing a picture of a tree in one of the boroughs or something, but it's going to be updated. I mean, as of right now, I'm in charge of 4 other Instagrams for bands and other things that I am part of. So it's not a big deal for me to grab some of the pictures of community and events and put on our Instagram. But it needs to be done. People need to know that we have a presence. There's people who I know for years lived in Long Island City and they don't even know that there's a council. I mean, that's not good.
I mean, one of my bugs has always been there's no street presence for the office. And we definitely need to do something. And that, Cheryl, maybe you and your design skills will help us design. And we've got to, Raphael, talk with the landlord and make sure that we can put a sign. I mean, you don't even know which door to go in. And, you know, if you've never been to the office,
Right.
come visit and see if you can find a way.
I would love that. I would love that task.
Right. Okay, it's 7:06 and I think we've had a good meeting. I'm gonna get some of the Instagram passwords and we're gonna start anew with things.
thank you.
All right.
Good one, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. And nice
Bye.
meeting everybody.
Yes.